Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to KRSchannel. I am your host, Captain India. Not Mr. India, Captain India. And today, we are going to be doing our video on Mars and Venus conjunction. And what happens when Mars and Venus are in the same house in your horoscope, in the same sign, which is considered a conjunction. Now, if you do not know what kind of conjunctions you have in your horoscope, if you do have Venus-Mars conjunction or not, for all that information, check out the links here and check out my full astrological report, including my books, Astrology, Conjunction, and Aspects of the Speed of Light, and especially my book, Conjunctions. I cover 2 all the way to 8 planetary conjunction and their meaning and how to study conjunctions, because there's a method and certain madness to studying conjunction. It's not as simple as just figuring out the meaning. So today we are actually going to be using some of those techniques of studying this conjunction of Mars and Venus. Okay. So what is Mars and Venus conjunction? Well, first of all, what is Mars? Mars is a fighter, soldier, athlete, policeman, engineer, a very aggressive, passionate person, and who's very bold and is not afraid to take bold steps. Also, Mars represents discipline, just like Saturn, because Mars is a dedicated soldier of the king. And a soldier is very disciplined, is one of the most disciplined people in the world, because he has to wake up in the morning, 4 a.m., run, eat his breakfast, do the exercise, do his routine, being a soldier. So that's what Mars represents. Then what is Venus? Venus represents something that makes you feel happy, comfortable, luxurious, something that makes you feel secure. And what is one of the most important things is, if it makes you feel happy and secure, relationships. That's what Venus represents. Venus represents the sensual pleasures, whether it's you listening to music or whether you drinking crystal champagne and one of those 24-karat gold pastries. Also, Venus represents the creativity within us, the artist within us, somebody who likes to please other people, because Venus is pleasure, who likes to please other people, entertain other people, make other people happy. Venus also represents marriage for both men and women, and Venus also represents a wife in a man's chart. So what happens when these 2 planets are conjunct with each other at least under 15 degrees? So whenever the closer the conjunction is, the more the effect is felt of a conjunction. Now, if your Mars is at 1 degree, Venus is at 29 degree, it's not really a conjunction. It's like 2 roommates living together. One is on the 3rd floor, the other is on the 1st floor, and they never see each other. They feel it a little bit, but they never see each other. But if you have Venus and Mars conjunction under 10 degrees, like 2 people not only living next to each other, but they're kind of in the same room. So things will happen. So that's what we're going to discuss today, is this conjunction, which is mostly I'm talking about when it's under 10 degrees and how to study them. Okay? So Mars and Venus conjunction, first of all, makes a person a very passionate person. They're all about experiencing things with the most zeal and zest of life. When these guys play sport, it's not only just something very competitive that Mars is, it's something that is very pleasurable to them, something that they love, that they enjoy, that brings this kind of Jeffersonian purity into their life. And these people not only are passionate about what they do, but they are the people who are able to take bold steps towards attaining their pleasure. Like the best example of Venus and Mars conjunction is that people, especially in traditional societies like India, is one of the indication of love marriage. Like they're going to fall in love and they're going to get married. Because in India, even to this day, it's a bit of a taboo. That, oh, you like him? Well, we don't agree with it. Because the parents have to agree with it. So this person it's seen with this person that they will take the bold step to say, I love this person and I'm only going to marry him or her. Otherwise, forget it. So what happens is Venus's love is now getting this aggressive energy, this Nas energy under the tank of Mars. That I want to love. I want to be passionate. I want to be out there having the best romantic time of my life. So with this, I am going to go against the social norm and I'm going to love somebody. Now, if you're in US, this is probably a joke for you. You're probably like, well, I don't have this and I love my blah, blah, blah person. But in certain traditional societies, especially in the Eastern hemisphere of this planet, it is still considered a bit of a taboo. And that's where this boldness comes into play. Now, in the Western side, you'll see these people can just go into a club, go into a restaurant, just walk up to a guy or a girl and just talk to them. Hey, how you doing? I like you. You're looking beautiful, blah, blah, blah. I mean, if I ever did that, I would just faint taking 5 steps towards that person. That's the difference between having this conjunction and not having this conjunction. It's not necessarily about the love marriage aspect. It's about having the bold step to declare your love for somebody. So when they say be confident, you should be confident going up to a girl. Many guys don't have this conjunction. So people don't understand that they may not be as bold in expressing their love as other people are. So here Mars gives that boost to Venus. Also, this conjunction can go on either side of the spectrum. It can be the most passionate relationship you had, full of love, romance, making out, sex, all the pleasures of the world. And the same conjunction can actually violate you physically. What do I mean by this? Domestic violence. Because Mars is what? Mars is a god of war. He is here to be putting his flag on you. So what happens with these people, no matter how bad or good the conjunction is, they're very dominating in relationships. They're the one who kind of decide what will happen today. Are we going to go to this restaurant? Are we going to do this? Are we going to do this? Are we going to do that? They take that, bold step of taking charge as a general in this army of relationship. But if, let's say, one of the planets is debilitated, especially Mars, and I'm going to discuss the scenario where this can happen, the kind of houses that it may happen in, where Mars will be so agitated because the other person is not being submissive or subservient to this other person, that they will resort to violence to make their point. They will hit their husband, they will hit their wife, their boyfriend and girlfriend to make a point that, look, you better listen to me, otherwise it's going to go the other way. Because remember, Mars's natural nature is this malefic nature where he just wants to dominate, win, and conquer. So when Venus is with it, if this is happening in the sign of Libra, it's going to be passion, it's going to be obsession, it's going to be all the romantic side of the world. If it happens in Aries and Cancer and Scorpio, this is where that dominating nature comes into play, where they feel insecure. They're like, no, I have to dominate this person, otherwise I can lose them. And usually I actually had somebody last week, they had a debilitated Mars with Venus in the 6th house. And this lady had to literally run out of her house because of the fact the husband was very physically abusive. So it was it's a very recurring thing that you will see. 4th Lord, which is family and home, becomes Venus with the sign of Taurus. Venus goes into the 6th house of disputes and arguments with the debilitated, agitated Mars, who was holding the lowest degrees. So this is where Mars took that dominating step and controlled the other person, or tried to. Now, what do I mean by this low and higher degree? Well, in conjunctions, planet that holds the lowest degree becomes the most strongest planet in the conjunction. This is the planet that can withstand the other planets' power, their suppressiveness, anything. This person can survive through such things. So this becomes very important. Who holds the highest degree? Who holds the lowest degree? Also, sign placement becomes very important. Aspects and conjunction becomes very important to determine how bad was your physical abuse, or was there any physical abuse. So let's discuss when Venus and Mars hold like respective highest and lowest degree. So if, let's say, your Mars is at 3 degrees of any sign. Let's just say, for example, Mars is at 3 degrees of Aries. Venus is at 6 degrees of Aries. So who's holding the lowest degrees? It's Mars. So what will happen if you have this kind of a scenario? Well, regardless of the sign, because that would kind of differentiate the meaning, just think of them in the same sign, whatever sign, Mars holding the lowest degrees. What will happen is that Venus is sitting on the throne of Mars. Mars holds the lowest degree. So what happens is these people again become far more aggressive towards approaching the other person, wanting to be in a relationship, wanting to be more sexual in the relationship. These are the people who really think about going onto the bed first, trying the person out in bed, then before they're trying to see if their personality is nice. So this Mars really wants to be physically dominating the relationship, but physically experiencing the relationship. This is the Mars that will go out there and wanting to express his aggressiveness through Venus. Meaning these people, when it comes to arts, entertainment, creativity, creating a relationship, they're at the forefront of everything. They're the one who will passionately, aggressively will go out wanting to express their art in the most passionate, dominating, assertive way. They're the people who will charm the hell out of you when you meet them first, because they're so physically active. They want to look good. They want to look beautiful. Because here Mars is a muscular, soldier. And so their beauty comes out when this Mars is out there being like this bold, macho man. Whether it's a woman or a man, they're both are going to be a creative, aggressive in this relationship. In any kind of activity, you will see that Mars-Venus conjunction will also make somebody very good at hotel management, because management is not really the duty of Venus. Management is a duty of Mars, because Mars is a general. He knows how to handle every soldier. He knows how to be disciplined. How do I organize everything? Venus beautifies everything. So management of beautifying things usually happen wedding coordinators and hotel management people. But mainly Venus is now being expressed through the fire of Mars. Now, if Venus holds the lowest degree and Mars holds the highest degree, that means Venus, let's say Venus is at 5 degrees, Mars is at 9 degrees, Venus is holding the lowest degrees. What happens with this person is that their aggressiveness is really seen through how much they love you, how passionately they want to essentially adore you. When they go out, they want to make sure they look beautiful. They're not really about, oh, I want to be muscular and toned and fit. No, they just want to look beautiful. They want to dress nice. And they want to make this impression on you about, hey, I want to get to know you, but I want to get to know you. Because still Mars is involved. But they're not like just like in your face, like, hey, what's your name, baby? Got a number? I got a number. Come on, let's go. Let's party. No, they're not that. These Venus and Mars people, when Venus is holding the lowest degrees, are very calm, cool, collective, and they are confident when it comes to a relationship. That's the beauty of this one. Because still Mars is involved in the conjunction, but because Venus is holding the lowest degree, they're like, look, I don't need to put my aggressiveness out in front of you in order for me to be involved with you. Let's talk, let's have fun. Now, if you like me, fine. I'm going to charge my Mars and I'm going to come at you passionately. But these people are able to express more softer side. Whenever they go out, even in the workforce, they're able to get things done through less of an aggressive nature if Mars was holding the lowest degrees. This person kind of becomes this action hero. They want to express themselves creatively, but how should they do that? Because Mars is sitting on the throne. So Mars says, well, make me the hero. So usually these people go for more of action-oriented roles when it goes to entertainment, movies. You know, these are the people who want to be those romantic kind of people. Romantic roles, romantic, themes in their life. Because here now Venus can withstand that aggressiveness of Mars. However, what happens with these people is that they're not the ones who might be initiating the violence, and they could. But what happens is, if they suffer domestic violence, if they suffer some sort of a physical harm upon themselves through a very masculine figure, they're able to withstand it. Venus is able to say, I'm not going to let you take advantage of me. I'm not going to let you, kind of like destroy my purity. I will be able to fight back. So that's one of the most important things with Venus holding the lowest degrees. Because remember, what's happening with these two planets is very masculine and very feminine energy are mixing each other up. They're mixing with each other. So you can see duality with these people. Sometimes you will see the most aggressive nature come out of them. And suddenly sometimes you'll see the most feminine nature come out of them. They will cry watching the movie. They will cry if you try to break up with them. But how agitated, how annoying, how bad, how good these expressions are, all depends on which house and which sign these two planets are placed. Okay? So guys, this was my analysis of Venus-Mars conjunction. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below. Again, if you want to know where your Venus is placed, where your Mars is placed, all my books and my consultations, for that, check out the links here and check out my book, reports, the website. Otherwise, we'll see you Monday with the new nakshatra of Purva Ashada. Bye-bye.